Yes.
These counselors you speak of, could you tell us a little bit about what their responsibilities are? Do they have like system-wide responsibilities? What do they
Are you,
things themselves?
the counselor, you mean the coordinators for the, oh yes, okay, sure. We have system-wide coordinators, yes. So our children's, teens, and young adult coordinators plan system-wide activities. They interact with the branches. They do bi-monthly meetings with the, for example, with the teen coordinators for each branch. They would come to a bi-monthly meeting, share information, ideas about programs. We do training at these meetings. And then the coordinators, I give them a yearly budget. So for example, each coordinator gets $5,000 and they can plan how they want to spend it for their group. It can be bringing in programs that are system-wide programs. It could be setting up training for their specific needs. The only stipulation is that they can't use it to supplement their collections budget, because their collection development people have that in hand. You know, they have their collections plan for the year. But the coordinators do an amazing job, and they really help our branch people to be able to produce more programming than they could do on their own. And oftentimes we find too that if we get a performer or an author or somebody who's going to come in and do a program for us, we get a better deal if we say, you know, I'll schedule you at 4 different branches instead of each branch having to make their own arrangements. More questions? Yes, please.
You spoke earlier of rebranding the library, of reaching out to more people and emphasizing things other than books. I'd like to know how you would do that without alienating the people who are still, after all, our core base,
Mm-hmm.
the bibliophiles.
The bibliophiles, yes.
Because they are feeling under pressure. A lot of people are feeling like they're being thrown overboard in favor for the next big thing. So
Okay.
how would you address that?
So how would we address maintaining our core supporters of book readers in face of the new technology, the new, sure. I don't see them as incompatible. I do see that a lot of people are still dedicated to their books, and that's a wonderful thing. That's great for the library. You know, it's interesting, though, that this month Amazon said they sold more ebooks than they did print books. So that is kind of the direction that things are going in terms of new media and in terms of new ways of looking at things. But, you know, I'm one of those bibliophiles. I've probably got, 8,000 books in my house right now. It's an interesting question. I think you have to have a balance, and I think you have to maintain programs that address all of the needs of our communities. I do like some of the author programs that I've seen and some of the book clubs. We have book club kits that people can check out, and those have been very popular at Alameda County because we have quite a variety of book clubs, not just for adults. We have a tween book club, so kids in the 11, 12, 13-year-old group. They like to read too, and we have a special book club for those age groups. I'm not sure that quite fully answered your question, but I think your point is that we need to be aware of them, and I agree with that. Yes, please.
We have a mayor that falls into the category that you were talking about, people that don't really appreciate or love libraries. And we do have to
Yeah.
communicate with.
Uh-huh.
How would you reach out to him and try to change his impression of the services that the library provides?
Well, I think spending time chatting about what's important with him, and that would be, obviously he's concerned about the city, things that most politicians and actually most citizens are concerned with: public safety, employment, housing, transportation, education. The library can speak to all of those things. And so I would focus on bringing our stories, not just the numbers, but the stories, because people connect with personal stories of change and of what the library has meant to them. So that's one of those marketing things. You have to kind of stay on top of it, keep collecting the stories, keep collecting the statistics, and keep talking to people. Yeah. Yes?
Along that same vein, can you talk a little bit about your experience in connecting with the community?
My experience in connecting with the community? Well, sure. As a branch manager and then as regional supervisor and also now as deputy director, I spend a lot of time in our branches, and I spend a lot of time talking to people in our branches because, well, for one thing, I don't like to sit in a chair for too long at a time. I do like to get out. I like to meet people, see what they're doing. I love attending our programs, especially the children's programs. And I think that's the way that you actually see what's going on and what people need. We also spend a lot of time going out into the community. Last weekend, we had a booth at the Fremont Arts Festival. Probably more than 4,000 people came by and collected our materials and talked to us. Well, it helped that we had a prize wheel. But, and we go to farmers markets. We spend time just meeting people where they are and talking to them about the library and what the library can do for them. And I think that's the best way to connect with your community. More questions? Yes?
So the burning question for me is California, Kentucky. Where do you see connections? Where do you see likes and differences? And how would you approach making that transition?
Okay, well, first of all, personally, I've lived a lot of different places. My dad was a Navy man and my husband was a Navy man, so we've been just about everywhere. But, you know, I was raised in the South. My family's all in Florida, Alabama, Georgia, North Carolina, Texas, Tennessee, Pennsylvania, Maryland. So all basically in this area of the country. Making the move personally is not a problem. In terms of libraries, libraries are in some ways the same everywhere you go. They're always vital parts of their communities. They're always used by just about everybody in the community. And I'm seeing that a lot of the things that you're doing here are really cutting edge. You're ahead of California libraries in so many ways. And I'm thinking, especially with your marketing, with the way that you've arranged the branches for maximum efficiency, the way that you've done the marketing displays, the face-out book displays. You know, I have to be honest with you, that was a hard sell in my library. You know, people would say, but I can get so much more on the shelf if they're all spine out instead of face out. Yes, but it draws people's eyes and they'll check out more and they'll like it better because it feels more open and they don't have to fight to get something off a shelf that's too tight. So, you know, a lot of what you're doing here is really impressive and you should be proud of yourselves.
And if there are no more questions, maybe you can take 30, 60 seconds and just do a wrap-up.
A wrap-up, okay. Well, so to wrap up, what I see is a challenge with Kentucky Public Libraries and with Lexington in particular is maintaining yourselves in the face of the public, keeping your excellent reputation going, making sure that people are always aware of the wonderful work that you're doing, and patting yourselves on the back, you know, be happy that you're doing such a great job and that people appreciate you so much. Look for ways that you can expand that and continue it. And if I am lucky enough to join you, I would be very, very happy to help you with that, to look for ways that I can support the work that you do, because to me that is what a director does. The director, you can have a library without a director, but what does a director do if there's no library? You know, that's the bottom line, and so I would be here to help you.